Greetings, my saplings. Alright, so in today's video, we'll be talking about the black off-white Prestos. To be more specific, like always in these how to cop guides, we'll be mentioning some release info, how to cop them, and of course, some resale predictions. To kick it off with some release info, first, the black pair will be releasing on July 27th. However, there will be a couple of stores that may release these potentially on the 21st of July, and I just felt like I'd mention it. If you were curious about the white pair, the reason I'm not talking about them is because they're releasing on August 3rd, and don't worry guys, I'll make a specific video for them, so you don't have to worry. Also, those Travis Scott Air Force Ones, I'll be making a video for those as well, so just make sure you turn on post notifications so you don't miss out on any valuable info. Also, the retail on these shoes will only be $160. Also, I did feel like it was very important to mention, this is the highest stocked Off-White and Nike collab. Now, for someone like me who doesn't really care too much about the hype, I couldn't care less. I think these two shoes look beautiful, and you know, if they happen to just be the most stocked pair, couldn't care less. I'd be very grateful to get a personal pair. But anyone who plans on reselling these, you will still be able to make profit, and we'll talk more about that later. It will just be less than what you will usually see with off-white pairs. But anyway, we'll talk about that later. Moving on now to the how to cop portion of the video. Now, before I start this, I just wanted to briefly mention again, guys, if you didn't see my shoe collection video, I essentially mentioned that I did announce merch for this community, and yeah, so the sapling tee just represents growth of knowledge. If you want to know the full meaning behind it, just check out my collection video. I explain it there. Link for merch will be in the description if you are interested. But that's enough self-promotion. I don't want to bore you guys. I know why you're here. So anyway, moving on to the how to cop portion. These are going to be releasing through the same retailers as the off-white Vapor Maxes, being the black pair and also the white pair. So I'm going to give you the full list of stores that are going to be getting these online that you could try along with the times. So to kick it off at 8 a.m. Eastern time, this is going to be Luisa Via Roma. Unfortunately for Luisa Via Roma, this is for members only. It's for people who've spent a certain amount of money to acquire, I believe 2,000 points or so. You would have had to spend like a few $1,000s or so to acquire that amount of points on their website. But if you aren't a member, you know what? It's fine. If you don't have those points, it's okay, because we got plenty more to talk about. So the next one we'll mention is Dover Street Market London. Dover Street Market London will be releasing at 3 a.m. Eastern time. Essentially, the deal with Dover Street Market is they have a e-flash up there and comes 3 a.m. Eastern time, or Dover Street Market New York, which releases at 11 a.m. Eastern time. At those times, you will see the page go away. Now, I would not recommend refreshing to be safe. I would recommend copying and pasting the link without the / password, similar to how we used to do it for Yeezy Supply when they used to have a password. The memories. Anyway, so it will just be a basic first come first serve on there, just be as fast as possible. There will be about 300 pairs per store, so of course 300 pairs here, you're going to be competing with bots. It's going to be near impossible to very difficult. Of course, it's worth a try, guys. I mean, what's it going to take out of your day? 5 minutes? I would give it a shot. Just be as fast as possible. Also, for all of these first come first serve online stores that I'm going to be mentioning, I would definitely recommend that you set up autofill if you haven't already. Moving on to the next release though, we have Blends releasing these at 12 p.m. Eastern time, and then Foot Patrol will be releasing these at 3 a.m. Eastern time. Again, these are just simple first come first serve releases. I believe that there is a possibility that Foot Patrol may do a queue for these, meaning that it's going to be the same process as Soulbox. Now, Soulbox will be at 3 a.m. Eastern time as well. And the way the queue works for both of these two sites, essentially, you just hope to get lucky and get in, and once you get in, be as fast as possible. Hope to check out your pair. Now, what I would personally recommend here is do not use multiple people, Jake, because unfortunately, that only creates new cookies. You will still have the same IP address, and I do believe these two sites are tracking your IP address. So instead, use multiple different devices on long-term evolution or 4G. Therefore, they will have different gateways and you won't get IP banned. So again, guys, I would suggest just giving these stores a try. It doesn't hurt. Now, of course, there will be a ton of online raffles and a lot of in-store raffles as well. If you guys want to see the full list for that, I will have to wait on that a little more because I don't have the exact confirmed list as of now. However, as we get closer to the release date, I will make an updated video where I go over that list. But not only that, I teach you guys how to get multiple entries into the raffles to increase your chances to the fullest extent possible. So if you haven't already subscribed, I would advocate doing so. Not only that, but turn on post notifications so you don't miss out on anything. Now, moving on to the Nike sneakers release. Now, there's a couple of things I wanted to mention for Nike sneakers. First of all, you should expect them to do a sneakers pass for, I'm expecting New York City and Chicago and possibly Houston, Texas. Not exactly sure. And also another possibility is LA, but again, I'm not sure about that. Essentially, with the sneakers pass, the best way to find out of the sneakers pass and also if they potentially do a surprise drop for these, which is definitely a possibility, the best way to find out is to turn on tweet notifications for Soul Links. They will tweet out when something like this occurs. Not only that, but you could also feel free to set up a page monitor such as Visual Ping for Nike sneakers. Set it to have an email sent to you when there is a change on the site. Anyway, those are definitely going to be the best ways to find out if there's a surprise drop or exactly when they do the sneakers pass, because they don't announce a specific time for the sneakers pass. And when that does come out, when you see that it did officially start, it will be 15 minutes from when they put it on the page. Now, Soul Links is a little delayed for the sneakers pass, I wanted to mention. So if they release the info at a certain time, you should expect it to happen within 12 to 13 minutes rather than 15 minutes. But regardless of that, I would recommend just staying on that page on the application, just to be safe. And all you're gonna have to do when that time comes, you're not gonna have to scroll up to refresh or anything like that. It will automatically change to coming soon to reserve now. Then you just click on reserve now. I believe you could click on locations and just try to be as fast as possible. A ton of people have had success doing it this way. Unfortunately, I still haven't had success on the sneakers pass, but you know, this might be our time to shine, guys. Anyway, though, like I was mentioning, there could definitely be a surprise drop if it's not a surprise drop. And if it's not a surprise drop, I'm sure they're gonna drop the news on us like a day before or something like that. Anyway, though, most importantly, we don't know if it's going to be a draw or if it's going to be a first come first serve. And I say first come first serve, but it's still kind of random. It's classified as a Leo, basically meaning like it's going to be a 3 to 5 minute draw where they give everyone enough time to enter or to click purchase. It will say pending, but they randomly select people. So if you were the first one to click on it, to click purchase, you're still not guaranteed a pair. Anyway, my point is that it's still going to be random whether it's a first come first serve or a draw. This means that you should be using as many accounts as possible. Now, if you're going to do this, you can only have 3 accounts max per IP address. I just figured this out through simple trial and error. However, if you think that 3 is not enough, which in my opinion, I think you should have more than 3, you will need to use different VPNs, but not only that, if you don't want to use a VPN, that's understandable. Use different devices on long-term evolution or 4G so they have different gateways, similar to how we do the Soulbox release. Also, for all of the accounts, you should have the same address. You don't need to change it up at all. It's fine. I've had multiple pairs from Nike sent to the same address, but I would recommend using different payment. Now, according to some people, they've used the same payment method and it's been fine. However, I have had my success by changing it up. So if you can, all I'm saying is if you have extra payment methods, like, you know, if you use privacy.com or if you just have a couple of credit cards you use or a debit card, maybe you have your PayPal, I would suggest using everything possible. Again, it's just for safety, but I think you could get away with using the same payment method. Also, guys, you guys should already know this, but you need different phone numbers per every account. If you use the same phone number, you will see it works for a couple of hours, but it will ask you to keep verifying it, and it's just a really big nuisance. All you gotta do is use a friend's phone number, and then when they get the verification code, just ask them to send it over to you. It's as simple as that. Also, guys, you should know, of course, you use different emails. I don't recommend using the +1 jig where you add a random number with a plus sign right before the @gmail.com. I don't recommend this specifically for Nike sneakers. Also, guys, for all of your accounts on Nike sneakers, I would recommend setting them up beforehand, whether it be a day before or an hour before the release. You should make sure that your size is already selected. If you were wondering, size 10 and 10.5 is always the easiest size to get if you just want a personal pair. Also, you should have your address already filled in, but not only that, make sure you select the box that says set this as my default address, otherwise it's not actually going to help you out much. And finally, make sure you set up your payment method as well, whether it be a credit card or maybe it's a PayPal. Anyway, that will conclude the how to cop portion of this video. I wish you guys luck, of course. I will be making that updated video, and being that it's summer, I probably will do a live stream if they do schedule this drop. So we got a lot of cool stuff planned, don't worry, guys. Anyway, moving on to the resale predictions. Do I think these shoes are going to sell out? Absolutely not. They're going to sit on... Guys, obviously these things are going to sell out. Not only that, but they will resell. Again, I mentioned this is the most stocked pair of off-whites. However, they're still going to be profitable. I would expect profit to be just under what it was for the black and white off-white Vapor Maxes. And of course, I said profit. You do know that the retail on those shoes was slightly higher than these. These are $160, those were $250. So you could expect the overall price for these to be slightly lower, at least like $100 lower than what those are going for. But again, most important thing to keep in mind is that they are going to be profitable. Me though, I'm just trying to get a personal pair like a lot of you guys out there. They're going straight to feet if I get them. I know I got those off-white Converses and I sold them just because I'm not a big fan of Converse at all. So now I'm left with no off-white sneakers, so I'm hoping to get these. Anyway, though, that will conclude today's video. Leave a like if you enjoyed, if you perhaps learned a thing or two. Also, subscribe and turn on notifications to stay 100% updated. And again, guys, I'll mention it again. If you haven't already, just feel free to at least check out the merch on the site. Link will be in the description. With that, I'll see you guys later. Have a fantastic rest of your day.
Why are you always in my way? Knocking me over every single day. Get your foot off my foot, ah.
Get your foot off my foot, yeah.
I should have run the other way. Now there's just one thing to say. Get your foot off my foot, ah.